You're going to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful dress in this exciting tutorial. If this is something you'd love to learn, make sure you watch this video up to the end and don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and let me know in the comment sections what you'd love me to show you next time. Without further ado, let's get sewing. So we're going to start with the top part of the dress, and I have two pieces of fabric that is folded, as you can see, 1 and 2. One is going to be for the front and the other one is going to be for the back, and the back is going to have a zipper allowance. So I'm going to draw a straight line here, and this is where I'm going to put my shoulder measurement and my neck measurements. So I'm going to start by marking my shoulder measurement right from the folded side, as you can see. So you can measure the person you're making the dress for, or you can just get standard measurements. Then I'm going to mark the armhole measurement down here. Then next I'm going to connect the points. Then I'll extend it outwards, as you can see. Then I'm going to make my armhole measurement. So you can just use your armhole French curve ruler, or just connect manually with a chalk. So I'm just going to use this French curve, or if you don't have a French curve, you can just do it manually like I'm doing and make a curve. Then next I'm going to mark the neck width measurement. Then the next I'm going to mark the neck depth measurement. So remember, this is on the folded side and not on the open side. Then I'm going to make the neckline. So you can decide what shape of neckline, if you want it to be very round or whatever shape. So I'm just going to get my French curve and shape the neckline. Or if you don't have the French curve, like I said on the armhole, you can use your free hand and just connect the neck depth to the neck width. Then next I'm going to mark my chest measurement here. So remember, this is a little girl's dress, and I'll mark it right here. There's no bust, it's just the chest measurement. Then I'm going to connect it down to the waist measurement. So from here to here is the shoulder to waist measurement. So you just measure the measurement from the shoulder to the waist. So I'm just going to cut it out, as you can see. So this is the front and the back. So the back is going to have an opening because of the zipper. So I'm just going to get my pair of scissors and cut at the center back, because this dress is going to have a zipper at the back. So you just fold and then cut out with a pair of scissors, which is the zipper allowance. So now there are 2 back pieces and 1 whole front piece. So now let's work on the bottom part of the dress. So the bottom part of the dress will be a skirt that is gathered. I'm going to show you how to gather, so just make sure you watch up to the end and don't skip any part. So it's going to have 2 parts, the front and back. So first, before we go to there, let's cut the facing. So this dress is not going to have a lining, it's going to have a facing. So to cut the facing for the front and back, I'm going to get the exact fabric and not lining. Then I'm going to get my front piece, place it on top of the fabric and trace it out in the neckline. Then I'm going to cut my facing. So the facing is the exact fabric, but it's going to be shorter than the actual. It's different from the lining. A lining can be a different color, a different shape, or different color of fabric, and the side is going to be just 2 inches or 3 inches. So you can just mark either 2 inches or 3 inches, so long as the facing is shorter than the actual fabric. So I'm just going to connect. Then I'm going to cut out. With my pair of scissors. So I'm just going to cut this out. So remember, the facing must always be shorter than the actual fabric. So this is the facing. As you can see, it's shorter than the actual dress. So now we're going to move on to the back side of the facing. So I've already cut out the back side of the facing, and as usual, it's supposed to be shorter than the actual dress. So this is the back facing and actual dress. So next, let's sew the facing to the front side of the dress. So I have placed my front side, right sides on top, facing the top. Then I'll place my facing. The facing should face, the right side of the facing should face the right side of the dress, as you can see. Then I'm going to align them properly and stitch along the neckline and along the armhole by 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch 1/2 inch. I'll do the same on the back side. I'll place the facing, right side of facing and the right side of the dress fabric. I'll stitch 1/2 inch in the armhole. So let's get on the sewing machine and stitch. So I'm going to do the same for the back. So I've stitched my front neckline and armhole. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. I'm going to clip. So clipping is very important. There are 2 ways of clipping. This is the first method. You can make clips, as you can see me do, these little triangle like clippings. This is method 1. I'll show you the second method. Just keep watching. So this is how method 1 clippings look like. And if you don't want to use this method, you can just use the more easier notching or clipping method. So just notch or clip, but don't reach on the seam line, as you can see. So this is even more easier. Just make little notches. So either you make the first one or the second method, is so up to your preference. So the next thing we're going to do is turn it to the right side. So that was the wrong side, and remember I didn't sew on the shoulder seams, they're still open. We're going to sew that later on. So this is how beautiful it looks. You can give it a good press. This is how neatly you put your facing onto the dress. So here on the raw edges, you can take it to the serger, or you can just fold it or use any seam finish that you like. So this is my front, as you can see, and this is my back. They look so neat. So now let's move on to the next step, where we're going to join the shoulders. So remember, we left the shoulders open. So I'm going to, this part here is open, we didn't stitch this part. I'm going to put this inside, then I'll get it, I'll let it penetrate the side, as you can see. So this is very easy, and you just have to take your time to do it and align properly. Then after removing it from this side, so I'm just going to align it well, then I'm going to stitch. So I'll do the same on the other side as well. So now let's sew from the wrong side, as you can see. So after stitching, we can trim off the excess fabric. Then after trimming off the excess fabric, we can turn it back to the right side. So this is the wrong side, remember. So I'm now just going to turn it to the right side, and we have a very neat finish, guys. Look at how neat it looks. So perfect. So now the next thing that we're going to do is sew the sides. I'll just place the dress like I am doing. Then we're going to sew the sides. Then after sewing the sides, you can take it to the overlocker if you want to serge, overlock the sides, or use any seam finish technique that you're comfortable with. So after sewing the sides, this is the overlocking machine. You can just put it on your overlocking machine and overlock the sides of the dress. Then once that's done, we're going to sew the bottom part of the dress, which is the skirt. So the skirt, we're going to make gathers. You can use the gathering foot on your sewing machine, but I'll show you an easier method in case you don't have the gathering foot. Just get a hand sewing needle and start running stitches. So this is how you easily gather if you don't want to use your machine, but you can also do it on your machine. So you are going to reduce this to the size of the waist. So remember, this is the waist multiplied by 3. That's how long this skirt is. I got the front waist, then multiplied by 3. That's how long this fabric you're seeing is. So when we make the gathers, we're going to reduce it to the size of the waist. So as you can see, this it has reduced. Initially it was the waist front multiplied by 3, but the gathers have reduced the size. So the next thing we're going to do is hem the dress. So just take it to the sewing machine and hem it. Then after hemming, you can join the front and the back side. So this is the back side. It has also been reduced to the size of the waist. You're going to join the two on one side. Then after joining on one side, this other side is going to be joined together with a zipper. But before we do the joining, let's take it to the machine to hem. So let's hem the dress. So as you can see, I'm just hemming the dress. So after hemming the dress, we're going to join on the sides. So I'm just joining the sides, as you can see, the front and the back side. So I'm going to join. Then after joining, I'm going to sew it onto the waist. So I'm going to sew it onto the top part of the dress. So after joining it on the top part of the dress, this is how beautiful it looks, guys. Then the last thing I'm going to do is sew the zipper. So I've inserted the zipper already, and this is how beautiful it looks. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Bye, and see you next time.